Hi, so this is going to be part 2 of lesson 9.1. I'm going to teach you about how to find missing sides and missing angles of right triangles using SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so this correlates to the notes that I posted for day 2. So this will be for Wednesday, March 18th. So I'm going to do the same examples that are on your notes. So you can watch this video of me explaining it and then read the notes that I post to Classroom. So hopefully that helps. Okay, first example looks like this. Okay, so this is our right triangle and we have the side 8. This angle is 30 and the bottom side is x. Okay, so if this is our angle, this side would be opposite. This side is the hypotenuse, and this side is adjacent. So I'm going to move this a little closer so you can see it better. Okay, so we have the adjacent side x and the hypotenuse side 8. So the trig function that goes with adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. So we're going to have cosine of our angle 30 equals adjacent x over hypotenuse 8. Okay, so the way we're going to solve this is we're going to take cosine of 30 times 8, and that will give us x. Okay, so a lot of you, if you're using your phone as a calculator, I'm going to show you how to do that on your phone. Okay. Alright, so obviously on your phone you're going to go to calculator and you want to turn it sideways to get all of the possible calculator buttons. Okay, so on your phone you have to first put in 30 and then you're going to press cosine, the one that says COS. Then you're going to do times 8. So 30 cosine times 8. And that equals about 6.9. So we're going to say that x is 6.9. Okay, and that's it. We did the first problem. Okay, so problem number 2 is going to be very similar. So, same idea. So, the next problem, the triangle looks like this. Okay, the angle we have is this one down here. It's 60. This is the right angle here. And this is x. And this is 14. Okay, so this is our triangle. This would be the opposite side. This is the adjacent side. And the one opposite the 90 is always hypotenuse. So it looks like we have something similar to the last problem. We have adjacent and hypotenuse. So we're going to use cosine again. Cosine 60 equals x over 14. So just like last problem, we're going to multiply cosine of 60 and 14 to get x. Okay, so like I said before, if you have your phone, we're going to have to put in 60 first. And then you press cosine, and then times 14. And the answer there should be 7. 7. So x equals 7. And that's the second problem. That's it. Alright, on the third problem, we're not going to be using cosine, so it'll finally be something different. So the third problem, triangle looks like this. Okay, so we have the right angle up here. This side is 10. This side is 45, or this angle rather is 45, and then this side down here is x. So you always look at the angle that they gave you, which is 45, and straight out from it is the opposite side. So this time we have the opposite side, and the one straight out from the 90 is hypotenuse. So if you think about SOHCAHTOA, okay, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and that's the sides we have, opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to write sine 45 equals 10 over x. Now, this problem is slightly different than the last one, not only because it's sine instead of cosine, but because this time the x is on the bottom. So we have a little bit more algebra to do first. Okay, so we're going to multiply this x over to this side. So it's going to say x sine 45 equals 10. Now we want to get x by itself, so we're going to divide by sine 45. So on your phone, what we're going to have to do is 10, so let's put in 10, divided by 45, and then you press sine, and then equals. So you have to do 10 divided by 45 sine, and then equals. And it should give you 14.1. So x equals 14.1. Okay, so if x is on the bottom, you have to multiply over to the other side first. Then you're going to divide by the trig function. And don't forget to press equals after you type in 45 sine. Okay, so that's the third problem. Alright, now we're going to talk about a word problem. So I know how much you love those, but I'm going to read it to you. To calculate the height of a building, Joel walked 200 feet from the base of the building and used an inclinometer to measure the angle from his eye to the top of the building. If his eye level is at 6 feet, how tall is the building? So I'm going to draw a rectangle to represent the building. Okay, now this triangle, this is going to represent where Joel is standing. Okay, and it said, he walked 200 feet from the base of the building. Okay, and the rest of it said, the measured angle is 76 degrees. So this right here is 76. And we have to figure out how tall is the building. Okay, so if we're looking at 76 here, and this is the right angle, we have the opposite side, and we have the adjacent side. So again, think about SOHCAHTOA. If we have opposite and adjacent, we have to use tangent. So we're going to have tangent 76 equals opposite x over adjacent 200. So to get the answer to this, we're going to multiply 200 times tangent of 76. Okay, so on your phone, or if you have a calculator, you can be doing it on your calculator, but I know all of you have phones, so that's why I'm teaching you that. Okay, so 76 tangent times 200. Okay, so the answer I got was 802.2. Okay, and we were doing it in feet, so we're going to label it feet. So the height of the building is 802.2 feet. Okay, so with word problems, most of the time it'll be like, how tall is the building? Or how far did they walk from the building? Something like that. So you'll have to draw yourself a picture to solve for the missing part. Okay? Now, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to find missing angles instead of missing sides. Okay, so to find a missing angle, first of all, we're going to have to use either sine inverse, cosine inverse, or tangent inverse. And to get those on your phone, you're going to have to press second. So if you have an iPhone like this, I think Androids are the same, but there should be a second button. And you're going to see sine inverse, cosine inverse, and tangent inverse, just like I wrote here on the board. Okay, those are what we're going to have to use when we find missing angles. Okay, so get ready for that. This problem, we're trying to find angle N. So I'm going to label this triangle. Okay, so this up here is the 90, and that's angle M. Over here is angle N. Down here is angle L. And the sides we have are 6 and 10. Okay, so I'm trying to find this angle. So if you think about it, if you go straight out from that, this is the opposite side. And straight out from the 90 is the hypotenuse. Okay, so if you think about SOHCAHTOA again, we have opposite and hypotenuse, so that would be sine. So sine of N equals opposite 6 over hypotenuse 10. Okay, so to do that on your calculator on your phone, we're going to do 6 divided by 10, and then you'll have to press second, and then the one that says sine inverse. And that should give you 36.9 degrees. So 36.9. So angle N equals 36.9 degrees. And we're putting that degree symbol because we found an angle. Okay? So you have to look at what angle are they asking for? What sides do you have? We had opposite and hypotenuse. Okay, then we know that that is sine. So then you do sine inverse of that fraction. So that's how you find a missing angle. Okay, we're going to try a couple more like that. Alright, next one, we're trying to find angle B. Okay, and that looks like this. Okay, the right angle is down here. This side is 8. This side is 16. This is B. And this is C. And up here's A. Our job is to find angle B. So if this is our angle, we have the adjacent side and we have the hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine, because in your SOHCAHTOA it is ka. So adjacent and hypotenuse. Okay, so we're going to have cosine B equals 8 over 16. Okay, so just like last time, we're going to use cosine inverse this time instead of sine. But we're going to do the fraction first, 8 over 16. And then you're going to press second cosine. And you should get 60 degrees. So angle B equals 60 degrees. Okay? So that one used inverse cosine. We've got 2 more examples, and then you will have a Google form to fill out based on this stuff. Just a few practice problems, nothing too crazy. Okay, so the next problem looks like this. Alright, so we're trying to find, this time they gave us a little x for the angle. And we have 15 right here, and we have 17 over here. Okay, so this is our angle x. Looks like we've got adjacent and hypotenuse. So we're going to use inverse cosine again. So cosine x equals adjacent 15 over hypotenuse 17. So on your calculator, 15 divided by 17, and then second cosine. And it should equal 28.07, but I'm going to round that to 28.1. Okay, so x is 28.1 degrees. Now, sometimes they'll ask you to round to the nearest tenth or the nearest degree. If we rounded this to the nearest degree, it'd be 28. Okay, so we got one last problem. Okay, this triangle looks like this. The right angle is up here in this corner. We've got, oh, sorry, drew it backwards, hang on. Like this. Okay, so this side's 18, this side's 27, and the x is here. Okay, so what sides do we have this time? Let's see, this is opposite, and this is adjacent, because this is the hypotenuse, right? So this side would be adjacent. Okay, so opposite and adjacent, if you think about SOHCAHTOA, opposite and adjacent is tangent. So tangent x equals opposite 18 over adjacent 27. Okay, so 18 divided by 27. And then we need tangent inverse. So that's 33.4 degrees. Okay, so that is how you find missing angles. We also reviewed how to find missing sides using SOHCAHTOA. So if you have any questions, you can email me and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. Okay, the notes that I will upload to Google Classroom are exactly like this, and I will have them filled out so that you can read them. Okay, so you'll have a Google form on this stuff, like 6 to 10 questions. Okay, so that's day 2. See ya.